Hi, everyone. So we are speaking to various local and regional business owners. And today we have Barb Andre Van Lith, owner of Ring a Bell's Catering Service. And she's going to share with us today a little bit about her business and how the COVID-19 health crisis has impacted our business. So thanks, Barb.
Yeah, absolutely. This is fun. I love that this is my first time doing this. So
good.
Thanks for dragging me into the tech world. You know, I'm a good cook, but I don't know about all this techie stuff.
Well, I think you're doing just fine.
Thank you.
So, first question is, can you just share with us a brief overview of what your business was like before any of this happened?
Sure. So I am a caterer, and so I don't have a storefront like a restaurant or whatnot. I just exclusively do catering. So I do I really like to do large parties. So that's the bulk of my business is doing, 100, 200, 300 people. And I do it year round. So mostly it is very seasonal, what I do. And so I do get a little break after December. There's lots of holiday parties. And so holiday parties are super fun because a lot of local people, and I get to go around with businesses and do their Christmas parties. And so December is super fun, super busy. And then kind of have a little January, February, March, and then April, May, June, all the way. Really, I hit hard May through September with wedding season. And so that's a huge part of my business. And so kind of when this hit, it was wedding season approaching and whatnot. So yeah, that's just what I do. I do private parties, corporate events, open houses. I do memorial services. I mean, the gambit of if you have a party and you need food there, I'm usually there cooking up some good food. So
awesome. So you were getting ready to launch into your business cycle, like ramp up wedding season, and then COVID-19 health crisis hit. Many businesses were shut down. Being so heavily dependent upon events, and we're under this mandate not to gather. What has that done to you?
Well, it's wiped out my income, Jen. I mean, we won't candy coat that. I held my breath. I think like everyone else, just kind of seeing how this unfolded. And, obviously I fall into a category where I'm, dealing with groups of large amount of people. And so, my heart broke for the weddings that I had on the books, and really honestly, I'm going month to month, holding my breath really for these guys too, because of course it's my income, I'll bounce back. I'll figure it out. That's just kind of what you do. But, these brides and grooms and families that have been planning these events, I've had most of my weddings on my books for over a year.
Wow.
And the year 2020, I think, was a little symbolic. For some reason, it honestly has been the busiest booking that I've ever had. And I kind of thought maybe 2020 was a cool year that everyone wanted to get. But we do a lot more in Wenatchee. I used to own a local restaurant, the Cellar Cafe, and we did a lot of catering as well. But it's really shifted from when I catered then to when I cater now. When I catered then, we did a lot of local stuff. I very seldom did a wedding from out of town. It was all very local. Now I would say it's very seldom I do a local wedding. I do mostly out of town stuff. And we have become a destination wedding hub. I mean, there's so many beautiful venues around here. And so, people are just planning ahead of time, just getting their special place reserved, all the vendors that they want reserved. And so, it's just, I really do feel for these people for sure. Yeah. But yeah, it's hit me financially. I mean, it literally has wiped out my income all the way through the end of May. Wow. I have not had anybody. June is my busiest month. And so honestly, I'm really holding my, crossed, holding my breath that June doesn't wipe out too. Because if June wipes out, I probably am, going to be sitting here in tears with you the next time we talk. But, it is what it is. We've all got to, I know the restaurants, people have asked me, do takeout stuff, do this, do that. I'm just kind of leaving it up to the restaurants to do that. They need to stay afloat too. And I kind of look at it like I'm able to do this with minimal overhead. And I know some of these restaurants aren't able to do that. So we'll just kind of leave it up to them. And I'll hold my breath, and we'll try to get to June, and hopefully, we don't have some cancellations.
Yeah. So in the meantime, I mean, now I you'd really be like in full prep mode. And because April and May have been wiped off your books and that's not happening, are you able to do anything with your business now? Or do you just sort of wait and hang tight until the normal prep for, say, the June weddings would happen? Are you able to sort of retool or rethink things, or are you just hanging tight?
Honestly, I'm just hanging tight. I really am hopeful that business will kind of go back to normal, and that we'll kind of chug along, and we'll have only a handful that will really need to reschedule. I mean, you don't know. It could go on and on and on. I think that if it looks like it's going to wipe out the summer, which could very well happen. I mean, I think it's uncharted territories.
Yeah.
Then I will probably have to really rethink how I'm going to make an income. I mean, I can only go for so long, like I said, with savings and stuff like that. Unfortunately, my household is a dual self-employed household. So luckily my spouse is able to work still. Yeah. So that's been our saving grace. Honestly, I can't imagine if we were both shut down. It would be very scary. So I'm going to hold tight. I'm going to hold my breath. I'm not going to really do anything different. Businessly, luckily I charted a little bit in savings. And like I said, we'll hold our breath and see what happens come June.
Do you think, so typically like with an economic downturn, there are sort of signals or tremors that, I mean, if we're paying attention, can indicate that this is happening, and we all have a little bit of time to brace for it. This was like, nobody saw this coming. I mean, this was out of left field, at least from my perspective. To have the government shut down businesses the way they have, I've never seen that in my lifetime. And you're right. I do think we're in uncharted territory. Do you anticipate for your business, I mean, is there anything that you envision doing differently moving forward? I mean, not that this was anybody's fault or you could have predicted this, because none of us could have, but have you thought about somehow doing something different structurally with your business to insulate yourself moving forward? Or are you coming at it more from the standpoint that once this ban is lifted, you're back at it just as though you were, and it's business as usual-ish?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question. Honestly, I look at it too. If catering is kind of specific, there's not a huge margin of what I can do. I basically feed large groups of people, and it's, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty cut and dry. And, I think that there'll be different things that we do within the industry as far as health and safety and stuff like that. But for me personally, I'm a survivor. I mean, I have great connections with this beautiful community. And if I have to change career paths, like, I'm open to doing that. And so, I think really the only stretch in my mind has been, if I'm not able to do what I love to do anymore, and I don't see really people not getting married again. And I think it might look different, but I think that wheel will churn kind of the same. So, I think my business is a little insulated with that. I would say having the restaurant, I might be having a different conversation with you. I am very fearful with my restaurant friends that they're going to have to shut their doors and never reopen. I mean, that makes my heart hurt just saying that. But like I said, because I don't have a huge overhead, I put a catering kitchen in my house years ago. And so, the little health inspector toodles up my driveway and walks through my kitchen in my home. And so I'm fortunate there to have not this huge overhead, a huge mortgage or rent to pay and stuff. So
and a big
I do see me bouncing back to business as usual. And honestly, if it doesn't, then I'm going to be hitting you up for a job. Oh, shoot. I said already that I'm not very techie.
That's okay. I wouldn't consider myself overly techie either, but we both have teenagers, and that's sometimes what it takes.
Exactly. Our wing men or women, right?
Yeah. So as a business owner, and I know that your clientele is not necessarily like, the Wenatchee Valley community. I mean, it is, but it's not like you don't have a restaurant, for example, where we could all be your customers.
Right.
But as a business owner, like from your perspective, what can we do to help you or other businesses? Like, do you have anything that you would like to share with folks?
I would just say consider me once this dust settles here. I would love for people to consider, again, I've been very attached to this community. I love our community, and I've always gotten such wonderful help and support personally within my restaurant, within my catering business. So I really feel super fortunate. I think there's a lot of caterers in town right now. And I think a lot of them, I wasn't always able to say a lot of them did a good job, but a lot of caterers are doing a very good job right now. So, I mean, I think hopefully as we all come full circle, business as usual, just, consider me as one of your caterers for your parties or your wedding, keeping it local. I think that's the beauty of this too, is that, I think people want to support each other and really will kind of turn their minds around to that. Like, instead of this Amazon shopping and, I really hope that, really kind of, I would love to see us helping locals. So I guess that's all I ask.
That is perfect. I could not agree more. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And best of luck to you as we navigate through this really bizarre time.